Hello. So, it's quite the topic. I think first and foremost, it's important to keep in mind that we've been through a collective trauma, not just in terms of the disease, but in certain ways, even more so, the social and the economic chaos that has come along with it. The arguing, the misunderstanding, the all of that. And I mean, not to mention the disease too. But this has been a really chaotic time, and I hope that this video helps you to process what you've experienced as an individual and what we've all experienced as a collective, as well as to look forward into the future. We'll get to that. So, number one, this is a great opportunity. It has been a great opportunity in this last year, couple months, to really take stock of who you are and what you need from your life. This is a really momentous time for humanity in general, being that Jupiter and Saturn have been in Aquarius for all of 2021, and it will be for almost all of 2021. Jupiter will move into Pisces for a couple weeks, but ultimately it's going to be there, and Saturn is going to be in Aquarius for another year and a half after this year. So this has actually been a really where we are right now, where we've been the last couple months, and I think 2020 with all that Capricorn energy was setting a great foundation for all of us, but especially for you as an Aquarius, to be able to move forward, to set his foundation to be able to move forward in your life more effectively, to figure out your real direction, to be inspired, to learn more about yourself, to learn more about others. This has been such an opportunity to grow as a person for all of us, but especially for you as an Aquarius, because where we are right now is really the beginning of so many different cycles. You could say a 30-year cycle with Saturn being in Aquarius, a 20-year cycle with Jupiter and Saturn being conjunct. This year is an opportunity to be able to dream bigger than ever, to imagine a better future more than ever, for ourselves as individuals, but also as a collective. And I think that even though this opportunity was going to be there regardless, I think that this last year of 2020 being so challenging as it was, again, on a microcosmic personal level as well as a macrocosmic collective level, that has brought the positive, the opportunities, the possibilities to our minds better than ever. It's inspired us more than ever. And I think that, especially going back first with 2020, an experience like that is so clarifying, and it's so helpful to understand who we are, what our lives are about. We go through these kind of traumas, and it helps us to clarify what's good in our lives and also what's not and what needs to be changed, especially if you were finding yourself at home for a long period of time. I think a lot of Aquarians experienced, actually, my mom is an Aquarius, and I know that she and I talked about this, where she came to understand and appreciate solitude more than ever. She came to appreciate being on her own more than ever. And I think and also as well as that greater connection to the collective, the planet, because our entire species, all of humanity was going through this. And there's a wonderful unifying quality to this. Yes, it's been a trauma. Yes, of course, I'm not saying that, I'm not invalidating the negativity of the situation, but there's a silver lining in everything. And I think that there's a great positive potential for all Aquarians with those experiences to really get a deeper understanding of self, as well as a deeper understanding of the collective, our collective self. So I think especially with Jupiter and Saturn being in Aquarius, this is a real opportunity for you to consciously, again, dream bigger than ever for yourself as an individual, and to understand what's working, what's not working, how to shift forward. Something that's helping here is transiting Saturn and Aquarius is square, transiting Uranus and Taurus. for this year, which is a major thing for all of us, but especially for Aquarians. And it'll continue to be square throughout all of Saturn and Aquarius for the next year and a half after this year, but it's really a tight square right now. So 2021 is really where so much change is happening on a microcosmic as well as macrocosmic level. And so for you as an Aquarius, this is a real opportunity to kind of ride those shifts. I liken that square to being kind of like an earthquake. And it's not saying there will be a literal earthquake, certainly hope not. But metaphorically, a shift in understanding and values and being able to, it could shift in so many different ways. But ultimately, it all comes down to the same thing: what's working and what's not working for ourselves as individuals as well as a collective. So I think for you, it's really important to stay focused on that of, okay, through those challenges, I came to understand myself better than ever. There's a wonderful opportunity this year with a lot of shifting within and also externally. What can I do? What can I dream up? What is what is the best vision I could possibly come up with for myself as an individual to bring out the best in myself, as well as to contribute to the best that I could possibly contribute to humanity? And that's a wonderful opportunity. And I think, again, it's the positive, the potential is brought to the foreground all the more so because of the challenge of 2020, where life and death was literally a theme, where things that we took for granted were suddenly called into question. So again, it's good to ask yourself, how do I want to grow as a person and what can I contribute? And I think part of that growing is number 2. Allow yourself to emotionally process what you've experienced. Really take the time to meditate and to consciously work through this past year. Part of moving forward is resolving the past, is really taking the time to breathe and to talk through these things with a loved one, with a therapist, with whoever that you feel you can really open up with and explore the negativity. You know, being an air sign as we are, I have Sun in Gemini, actually in the house of Aquarius, which is effectively the same as Sun in Aquarius. So, you know, this is very true for me as well. And also for the fire signs as well. But for the air and fire signs, we need to take our time to really emotionally process what we've experienced. And, you know, it's important to not get caught in the negativity. It's important to not get caught in the maudlin nature of it and go, oh, it was so bad. We need to make sure we're moving forward and not continuing to go in a circle and not making excuses for not moving forward. But at the same time, we need to actually validate those challenges that we've been through. There has been so much to process from the last 14, 15 months of seeking to understand what happened, you know, from the lack of understanding what's going on to, I mean, it seems like now we're on the other side of, or getting to the other side of this tunnel. But there's a lot to process here, and to be able to effectively move forward, we really need to take the time to sit with what happened. How did I feel? Especially for us with Aquarius energy. How did this affect me? Thinking of the fear, you know, if we need to cry, let ourselves cry. And I think that one of the most important outlets for us is friends. Talking through our challenges with our friends. And, you know, hopefully you've been doing this throughout this entire time, but it's no less important to, in fact, I think it's in certain ways even more important to, I don't know, it's all important, but it's so important where we are now and as we continue on to the other side. When everything is open and all right, cool. We've moved through this on a collective level as well as an individual level. Well, actually, to make sure we move through it on an individual level, we really need to take that time to give ourselves time to really process it and not just, okay, I get it. You know, it's really easy for us as air signs. Okay, I get it. This is what happened. Okay. How did I feel though? Ooh, you know, even for me, I look back at especially about a year ago and I was like, oh my God, there's such a lack of understanding of what's going on. How contagious is it? What could it mean for me, you know, having asthma? It's a lot. It's a lot to process and so many emotions. And then of course, dealing with other people during all of that too. And that they're dealing with it in their way and their challenges. And, you know, so just take that time. Take that time to talk it through, to meditate on your own, to reflect, maybe journal, write it down. it's really important to be able to definitively move forward into the next life chapter. We need to resolve this previous life chapter and can continue to resolve it as time goes on. Processing isn't just okay, I've processed it. It's a time period. Again, it is a trauma. It is a very difficult situation that we've all been in and still are going through, but especially for the past, this last year. Okay, and number 3, take this as an inspiration to take care of your body better. As air signs, especially I think Aquarius energy in so many ways being the heart of air, ideas and words and information is infinitely interesting. You know, I just finished an 18-hour audiobook and I'm on to the next one already, which is another 18 hours. You know, it's good to be so mentally, we are who we are, you know, everyone is who they are and they have great gifts. And for Aquarius, it's wonderful to be so mentally driven. But it's really important I think this has been such a good opportunity to recognize that our foundation of our existence as human beings is our body. If that is not there, everything else is unstable. You know, it's the foundation. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity to really focus on taking care of yourself as per your body and to continue to do so as time goes on, especially through the Saturn and Aquarius transit where we are right now and where we'll be for the rest of the year. And again, 2022 and the first half of 2023. This is all the more important because there's so much pressure on Aquarians to make sure that we are making sure our circulation is good, that we're showing up, we're eating healthily, we're showing up to take care of our bodies, because ultimately that is, again, what is going to fuel, if our physical health is well, as Gary Kasparov said, the chess champion, a huge advantage that he had in being a chess champion, world master, I can't remember the exact term, I think it's called world master, but in any case, was he was very physically fit. And there's a lot of scientific truth to that. If we are taking care of our body, we think more clearly. If we're not putting horrible chemicals into our body as per food, we feel more clearly. Our whole system functions really smoothly. And I can speak from personal experience, being very mindful of my diet for years and also very focused on making sure that I'm working out regularly. It makes a difference as per your mind and as per the quality of your emotional health as well. So if you want to build your mental and emotional health, make sure you build your physical health. And especially, again, this is such a great opportunity, this whole experience with COVID, to make sure that we're taking care of our immune system, taking care of our body so that we don't get sick. I mean, hopefully no other pandemic happens on the horizon. You know, I highly doubt it. But then again, we never know. And even if there isn't some kind of global catastrophe happening, we all, to prolong our lives and to prolong the quality of our lives, we need to be taking care of our body. So this is a really good example, really good inspiration, reminder. And 4, be thinking of the brighter future for humanity that you want to inspire and be a part of. We kind of covered this with number 1, but again, dream bigger than ever, set your vision larger than ever. Humanity really needs us Aquarians, or in the house of Aquarius, same thing, to dream our largest vision possible. And we have a golden opportunity with Jupiter and Saturn being in Aquarius for 2021. And again, for the year and a half after that with Saturn, to build effectively, especially as time goes on. You know, Saturn, it gets better as time goes on. And so, especially looking forward to the next couple years, what is the vision that you have for your life to be able to contribute to humanity? There's so much. There's infinite room for growth and expansion. And there's so much that Aquarians can, especially during this time, during this year, consciously set for themselves to be able to contribute to the collective. And again, the collective really needs it. I finished each one of these videos with this focus of how can you as a sun sign help us to move forward, to heal, to grow. And for Aquarians, it's to bring out the best in yourself, the ideal vision for your life of how you can authentically express yourself in what you're interested in mentally to be able to advance humanity. So whatever way that is, go for it, and know that the larger your vision, of course, it has to be practical and grounded. But I think with Saturn being in Aquarius, that's helping a lot to make sure it's practical and grounded. And it's really important to embrace the Jupiter aspect of this too, to make it larger than ever. because the world really needs it. And of course, we need it as individuals as well. It's always a good time to make the most out of life. So if you have any tips for fellow Aquarians, please leave them in the comments. That kind of support is always appreciated. It's beautiful to see people sharing ideas and thoughts and experiences and advice. I really, really appreciate getting to see that. And I know that other people appreciate it. So if you have anything to share, please do. And, I'm really excited. I've been working on a book series for about 1.5 years. Those who are familiar with my channel have heard me talk about it a lot. Volume 1 is coming out my goal is by June, the end of May, somewhere around there. And the 3 volumes of the 5 astrological books I'll be releasing in the next about 14-15 months is my Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius, vision, at least in part. 3 of those volumes are what I've been working on the last 1.5 years, which is astrological natal chart placement. So Sun and Aquarius, all of the different sun signs, all of the different rising, all of the different moon signs. So for an individual, there's 5 interpretations already there in volume 1, and volume 1 is extensive. Oh, sorry, let me explain that first. So your rising energy, if you're born on a cusp, for like myself with the rising, then there's 2, but you got the rising, got the Sun and Aquarius, right? The moon energy, the Sun house placement, and then the moon house placement. And again, if you're born on any kind of cusps for the Sun or the moon or the rising, then there's an additional thing there for you. And you also, to understand other people's, it's every single energy for the rising sun and moon. I'm working on Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. That should be done around September, August, somewhere around there. And then I'll be finishing Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Midheaven early this next year. And then I'm finishing what I've learned psychologically and philosophically and spiritually from studying astrology the last decade of being a professional astrologer. And that should be done by the end of the year or early this next year. So I'm really excited for that. And then universal wisdom, excerpts organized by themes like patience, and then excerpts from the astrological natal chart placements 3 volumes, where it's a little bit more of okay, I want to learn more about romantic love. What can I learn? There'll be an excerpt of Venus and Libra, what I wrote for Venus and Libra that was specific for them in astrological natal chart placements, but again, is universal. It felt like, everybody could gain from this. So I have a lot of stuff that's in the works. I'm really excited. Of course, I'm going to be doing more videos. If you have any suggestions for videos, please leave them in the comments below. I read all the comments. And, so volume 1 should be available by the end of May or so. The information to buy it or any of the books will be in the about section. And as always, I'm doing readings, so that is also the information again to contact with me is also in the about section. We've been through quite a time, but the future is bright as always, and it's up to us to chart the future. So again, dream bigger than ever. It's such a golden year to really expand our sense of self in a positive sense, and to work hard on meaningful projects and to make major progress, and to continue to do so over the next couple of years. And then from there, it can just continue to grow. It's not like we will stop growing after this time, but again, it's such a golden opportunity for us as Aquarians. So just keep growing and learning and moving forward, and enjoy. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Peace.